There was no question of doing during Mughal period, no question at all. It was just a one-sided assault. During British time, there was nothing of that sort. Then why is it that you said that no, we will have a separate, we are not you, we are separate nation, and we must have a separate homeland. And if you do not agree, which you are not allowing us to have, we will kill you, we will demonstrate to make your life miserable. And then they unleashed the violence, and thereafter Noah Khali and what not happened, according to them. It was a civilizational assault, a fatal civilizational assault on the idea, identity, we will demonstrate to make your life. It was assault on the civilizational values of Bharat. Thereafter Noah Khali and what not happened by breaking. It was a civilizational assault, a fatal civilizational assault on the idea, in the name of identity, a different civilization of Bharat. That we are not you, we assault on the civilizational values of Bharat. Friends, it was not a communal right. Presenting it as a communal right is down in the name of a different civilization. That we are not you, we constitute a separate. Power-hungry politicians after independence, friends, they have played. It was not a communal right. They have played it all through. Presenting it as a communal right and is down. Historians for power, so-called historians, power-hungry politicians after independence, patronized by the state, by the government, or they were ideologically oriented that way, and they created historians, so-called historians, who were either commemorating this day by the state, by the government, or they were ideologically oriented. Not that it was a tragic incident that was happened and let us forget it. We are commemorating this day today because happened in the past. Not that it was a tragic incident that was happened and let us forget it. What all violence has happened. Unspeakable torture have happened in the past. And but we have tried to forget it. None of them could break what all violence has happened. But unspeakable torture, violence, which has started in August 1946, none of them would break Bharat. And it did not stop at that. Violence, which has started even after 1946, violence continued. Even after, and it did not stop at that. Independence, even after 1946, violence continued. At the time, even after independence, in Pakistan there were 33 Hindus. At the time of independence, East Pakistan alone, in Pakistan there were 33 more than 32 Hindus. Today they are in less than East Pakistan alone. What happened to them? They are more than 30. Time and again, is there any case, we have not read any case, that the Hindus of Bangladesh, time and again, or is there any case, we have not read any case, that the Hindus of Bangladesh, but yet anything happens, that they are killed and they are chased away. But yet anything happens, talk about it, somebody will say you are being Sampradayik, you are being, if you talk about it, somebody will say you are being Sampradayik, false narrative. This created and false perpetrated by power-hungry politicians, and perpetrated by power-hungry politicians, civilizational forces who are hostile to the idea and who are hostile to the idea and has been mainstream. These lies have been fed on the generations. Even today, 2 years back, in October 2024, there was a political change in Bangladesh. Why was that thousands of Hindus were killed? Why is it that lakhs of them had to run for safety? Why? What was their fault? Did they cause any violence? Or did they initiate any violence? Did they do anything? None. Now, the forces that have been hostile to the idea and identity of Bharat, civilization of Bharat, are still operative, are in action. Now this land of Bengal, which suffered the worst due to this violence and subsequent violence thereafter, this land, which gave the clarion call of Bande Mataram, because after all, Bharat is our mother. We know we are born of it. It's a sacred land, sacred bhumi. This land gave the call of Bande Mataram, the call that energized the entire nation. which energized the national freedom movement. On this very land, when we hear that there are institutions and people who celebrate Jasn-e-Iqbal, the mastermind of two-nation theory, the mastermind of Pakistan. It is true that Iqbal in his younger days, he wrote, Sare jahan se acha Hindustan hamara. He wrote that. But something happened. And he went on a different line. He says, no, this is a dirty land. Sajda na karun, Hind ki napak zami par. This place is so dirty, it is not worth doing my sajda. This man who gave the two-nation theory, who gave the intellectual heft to a theological call, he is celebrated on this land. And a chief minister goes and participates in that event and felicitates his grandson. Now this is worse than an irony of history. This is because they have succeeded. The forces hostile to the civilization of Bharat, to the idea and identity of Bharat, they have fed systematically our young people into believing that what happened in August or thereafter was just some sporadic violence. No. Unless we see the enemy in its true form, you will not be able to protect yourself. You will not be able to neutralize the enemy. Shatru Bodh. Unless you know who is your enemy and you understand the character of the enemy, you will not succeed in defeating the enemy. And the forces hostile to the civilizational idea and identity of Bharat have succeeded to an extent where they have mitigated our sense of who we are. And that's a very serious thing. Today, this land which gave Bande Mataram, on this land there are people who feel shy of calling Bande Mataram. No, we will not do Bande Mataram. What is this? If the ideas, the values, the foundational principles that gave rise to Bharat, which has survived for several thousand years, if those very ideas, those very values, those very principles are negated, if those very principles are denied or downplayed, afraid there is no future. Shri Aurobindo, a great rishi born on this land, this holy land of Bengal, he said, what is Bharat? He defines Bharat. He said, Bharat is a living energy. Bharat is a living energy of the spiritual conception which was conceived and revealed in the Vedas, that we are all one family. Imagine an universal inclusiveness. There is no other based on such a principle, a spiritual principle, a culture emerged, a lifestyle emerged, and Rashtra was created. Its energy of this Rashtra is fidelity, commitment to this principle. And if my commitment is to the principle that Bharat is a Mata, and we are all her children, then we must be clear about it. That anyone who denies or who feels hesitant in saying Bande Mataram or Bharat Mata Ki Jai, be aware of such forces. That because they are not just their political ideology, they represent a different values which are antithetical, which are hostile to the civilizational values of Bharat, the very foundational core values of Bharat. So, a issue must be understood, stripped of all the facade, all the panache, all these distortions which people, the vested interest people have made it look like. This day should not go down as a merely as a violent incident, as one of the violent incidents that happened. It was not just an incident like what Aurangzeb and others did to our Sikh gurus. Imagine, there were a lot of intolerance, all through intolerance. Our Sikh gurus who were preaching brotherhood, they were inflicted worst kind of punishment, torture. They all suffered. But at least Bharat survived. But what happened in August 1946? It broke. Civilizationally. Dhakeshwari has gone. You can't expect to go to Dhakeshwari. Those who are there, those who protect it, they had to leave. This land has always been and will always be, because our civilizational values do not allow us to nurse hatred against anyone. Because the moment I start saying you and I cease to be a Sanatani, I cease to be a true Bharatiya. I cease to be loyal to the core values of Bharat. Because core values of Bharat doesn't tell us to separate or look somebody others. But at the same time, when a cell in the body becomes cancerous, you cannot let that cell grow because it is there, yours. You cannot. We have to be on guard against all such forces. The forces which create division, either it is a political ideology or a theological ideology. If it is of intolerance, it promotes. And anyone who promotes and talks about shirk, that anyone who compares any god to their god is committing a big sin. This is not Bharatiya value. This is not acceptable in Bharat. Bharat does not distinguish between faiths. And it is this reason that at the time of independence, the forces, those who created Pakistan and East Pakistan and Bangladesh, those forces, the people at the time of independence in Bharat, there were less than 4 crore Muslims. Today there are about 20 crores. I'm not saying it's anything wrong. Perfect, fine, because this is Bharat. But in Pakistan, 33%, down to 8%. In West Pakistan, it's not even 2%. Why? This threat, the civilizational threat, and the vectors, the forces which pose threat to the civilization, we must be civilization of Bharat. And it's important that our young generation, because the forces are active. Even today they are talking about Bharat ke tukde tukde honge. This land, people who talk about disintegrating and disconnecting the Siliguri corridor, civilization, we must be aware of. And it's important was happening that our young generation, because 3 days the forces are active, move from the east. Even today they are talking about Bharat ke the west, because in people who talk about disintegrating and sabotaged by people living in that very area. What is this? We have enemies. Kargil was happening, and we have to be 3 days our troops could not move from the east. Bharat ke tukde honge. To the west, those who say in chicken Bharat ki railway track sabotaged by people living in that very area. All those who talk like this, we have to be careful. We have those who create conflict and class division. Be careful. That look, those who talk which constitute a separate class, those who say class and they must Bharat Mata hai to Maoists, they were enemies of the nation, enemies of Bharat. Because those who create conflict and class division is not that look born out of which constitute a separate class, constitute a separate class, and they must fight, they must love, Maoist passion, universal enemies of the nation, universal compassion, universal familyhood, and non-violence. Not only in words, Bharat has evolved out of love, words, compassion, universal love, universal compassion, universal familyhood, civilization to survive, non-violence, not it cannot words, it cannot just act, sitting idle. This philosophy will survive, this is eternal, Sanatana. This civilization to survive, indestructible, must be strong. That doesn't mean that Bharat is indestructible. It cannot just Bharat is sitting idle. A physical manifestation. This philosophy will survive. This is eternal manifestation of that philosophy. Indestructible. That doesn't mean that manifestation is vulnerable. Bharat was vulnerable when physical manifestation of that. A civilization manifestation of that philosophy and turned into Caliphate. This physical manifestation it became vulnerable. It was vulnerable when they divided Pakistan through direct action. Qasim invaded Sindh and turned into this very land. On the blood it became vulnerable when Muslim League divided Pakistan through direct action, which happened started on this very land, on the blood of our understood. Bharat has to be defended and protected against the enemies we understood. Bharat enemies has those to be defended and protected against the enemies within. All those ideologies of enemies, those who are all those theologies of intolerance, all those ideologies, all those who believe, I hear Tabligh people, all those theologies of intolerance here and there, all those who believe, I hear Tabligh people saying, don't mix with Hindus, don't participate in their festival. And the people will say, no, they are crazy, don't participate in their festival. And the people will say, no, they are crazy fellows. They are crazy. Are they just merely crazy? Are they just merely hatred? Has no place hatred in civilization of Bharat. Place in civilization of Bharat. This day, what happened? 80 years ago, must be etched in the mind of everyone. And our young generation, especially our young because I don't think much from the elders. That's the lost generation. It's the you people who will bear the threat. Because the threat, if not addressed and neutralized, it will be existential in years to come. So the nation, this incident, this civilizational attack from 16th to 19th of August 1946 must be properly understood and appreciated. Only then you will be prepared to defend Bharat and the values that Bharat stood for. We are at a time when Bharat is awaking civilizationally. It is not just science and technology. It is not just economic prosperity. It is a civilizational awakening. But in this civilizational awakening, we must be conscious of the threats to the civilization. Friends, those of you who have studied Chinese history, you know. Chinese, they teach their students 100th century of humiliation. It is there in school text. It is there in the college text. A century of humiliation. 1839 to 1949. 1839 with the Opium War, which the Europeans inflicted on China, to 1949. They teach every student, every Chinese student, and they don't mince words. They say a century of humiliation. Because when you know that the way you have been humiliated, you are prepared. When the Japanese invaded Nanking and the atrocities they committed, the chapter which China has in the textbook, they call it Rape of Nanking. They don't put any soothing on the wound. We must feel the chubhan. ये हुआ था आपके साथ. Only then. And what happened on these direct action days? We must realize in all its seriousness, in all its severity, in all its pain, not body, but pain of the soul. We must, with this in mind, move forward and build this nation strong enough that no enemy would be able to look at us adversely. We have no problem with the enemies beyond. We have demonstrated what Operation Sindoor did. We don't have to worry. But we have to be extra careful, enemies within. Bharat was not broken by any external force. It was broken by enemies within. And in future also, if Bharat, existential threat to Bharat comes, it will come from within, not from outside. Because outside, our military is capable of dealing with it. We have a credible nuclear deterrent. No power, however mighty it might be, will dare to launch a serious attack on Bharat, because they know that the consequences will be mad, mutually assured destruction. We have established credible nuclear deterrence. We have established our capacity in a space that if anyone tries to fiddle with our space assets, we will destroy their assets. We have all the capability. What we are vulnerable today is enemies within. And we must be careful. We must be cautious, identify, isolate, and neutralize. I am sure you, my young friends, country is, or Bharat is safe in your hands. Don't forget the past. Thank you very much. Thank you for coming, being part of it, and hope you carry the message, the lesson. Thank you very much. Vande Mataram.
Honorable Sir, thank you very much for such insightful and inspiring address. Your words have reminded us that the true purpose of remembering history is to strengthen our commitment and peace, unity, fraternity, and harmony. On behalf of University of Calcutta, I would express our deepest gratitude to Your Excellency, sir. Now I would like to request Professor Siddhartha Shankar Saha to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chancellor of the University of Calcutta and Governor of West Bengal, His Excellency Sri R.N. Ravi, the Registrar University of Calcutta, Professor Debashish Das, Professor Rajsekhar Basu, Dean Arts, respected teachers, distinguished guests, esteemed colleagues, students, members of the university community. A very good evening to all of you. It is my privilege and honor to propose the vote of thanks on this solemn and significant occasion commemorating the August 1946 Calcutta Massacre. At the very outset, on the behalf of the University of Calcutta, I extend my deepest gratitude and respectful acknowledgement to His Excellency Sri R.N. Ravi, Honorable Governor of West Bengal and Honorable Chancellor of the University of Calcutta, our alma mater, for his gracious presence and for delivering such a thought-provoking and meaningful special lecture on this important historical occasion. Sir, your presence has added dignity with significance to this commemorative program. Your address has provided us with a valuable historical perspective and has reminded us of the importance of remembering the past with responsibility and a commitment to peace, harmony, and human dignity. I'd also like to place a record of our sincere gratitude to our Honorable Vice Chancellor, University of Calcutta, whose presence we had very much looked forward to on this solemn occasion. However, due to a preoccupied meeting and pressing institutional engagement, the Honorable Vice Chancellor has unfortunately been unable to be physically present with us today. His commitment to preserving the university's academic and institutional values remains greatly appreciated. My sincere thanks to Professor Debashish Das, Registrar, University of Calcutta, for his valuable role in organizing this program and for extending the welcome to her, to our Honorable Chancellor. I also express my gratitude to Professor Rajsekhar Basu for his introductory remarks for contributing to the academic significance of this occasion. I would like to thank Professor Deeptendu Chatterjee for conducting these proceedings nicely. I extend my sincere appreciation to all the teachers, beloved officers, staff members, researchers, students, research scholars, the University of Calcutta, whose dedicated efforts have contributed to the successful organization of this important program. Let us carry forward the lesson of history and reaffirm our commitment to peace, communal harmony, human dignity, and an inclusive society. Thank you all. Jai Hind.
Thank you. Let us remember the past with dignity, learn from it with wisdom, and build a future with peace and fraternity. We will conclude the program with national song and national anthem. Dhonnobad, Bonde Mataram, Bharat Mata Ki Jai.
जनगण मन अधिनायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता पंजाब सिंध गुजरात मराठा द्राविड उत्कल गंगा विंध्य हिमाचल यमुना गंगा उच्चल जलधि तरंगा तव शुभ नामे जागे तव शुभ आशीष मांगे गाहे तव जय गाथा जन गण मंगलदायक जय हे भारत भाग्य विधाता जय हे जय हे जय हे जय 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 हे